Welcome everybody to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latin Nerds Network. Ready to talk about all the shows, documentaries, films that get released on streaming, and of course at the end of the show let you know what's coming out so you too can create your very own watch list. You ever say to yourself, I don't know what to watch, this is why we're here to do. Of course, I'm not alone, joined by co-host Chewy, Senor Jaime, of course. What's going on, brother?
Still celebrating my victory against your stupid ass.
Uh, that will remain. He who was it? He who remains. We'll leave it there. The Loki reference. Yeah, it was a bad week of fantasy last week. It is what it ended up winning the league. I don't want to win. It's just yeah, either way. That being said, there's an early game of football coming up in an hour, so we'll get to that a little bit later on. But as always, let's get started. Not a big week this week. Next couple weeks are kind of slow, and I'm not sure what the rest of November brings, but there are a couple of big shows coming out. Just in terms of quantity, it's light. So this is a great time to catch up on a lot of stuff you may have missed over the last few weeks, and a lot of shows that have come out that we've recommended over the last month or so. But there's one we're going to talk about that ended its 8 episode run real quick, 2 weeks. I know this is one we haven't talked about since it first started, and that's Gen V on
Ah,
Amazon
yes.
Prime, which of course the Boys spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
Takes place in the world of the Boys, same timeline, I guess, but focusing more on these
Yep.
the
Same
young,
everything.
the young soups who are going to this special school for soups, and of course, about industries involved, a lot of shenanigans and so forth, and a lot of this is the Boys, so it's very over the top and graphic, which I love, and the tone is there. I liked when it started. I liked it better when it finished. In terms of, I thought it ended better than what it started. So not as good as the Boys, but still very cool. A lot of great moments. We joke around the Muppet, violence in here. It's just
Poor
very,
Muppets.
very
Jim
unique.
Henson is turning in his
Yeah,
grave,
very
dude.
unique, and there was some definitely surprising twists in terms of the last couple episodes, particularly the penultimate one, the episode 7. As far as some
Mm-hmm.
deaths, I'm like, ooh, okay, I didn't expect that at that point. Interesting. And of course, we got a huge cameo at the end of episode 8, kind of setting
Double
up.
cameo.
Yeah, double
Double huge
cameo, right? Double
cameo.
cameo, setting up maybe what's going to happen in season 4 of The Boys, season 5, 4, sorry.
4.
4, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it was good, man. It was really good. I liked that a lot, man. A lot. I liked how it ended. The last few episodes really got me. This one, obviously, if you're, sometimes there's one that the ratings were low coming out. I think people were kind of apprehensive, but ratings were increasing week to week. This is why you release week to week in some of these shows, and
Good word of mouth.
right, exactly, and it builds the word of mouth, the water cooler talk, if you will. If you're a fan of the Boys, you haven't caught this one yet, you might be apprehensive because you don't know, whatever. Definitely must watch in terms of that. Chew your thoughts.
Man, I love this show. I think I like it a lot more than you do. Uh, Picks off right after the events of season 3 of The Boys, but it's obviously the focus is on Godolphin University and the up and coming soup generation, I guess.
Right.
Obviously, since we found out that they were all manufactured by Bot and the Special V compound and
Yeah,
whatnot.
Compound V.
Yeah, Compound V. And so, but no, it's great, man. I mean, like I said, very character driven, a lot of character development, good story development, good writing, great graphic, to
Yeah,
say the
there's
least.
some really wacky moments here, which
And
are great.
even some of the graphic nature was done in puppet format to try to tone it down a little bit because it was way too much. But I mean, but that's what The Boys is, right? I mean, every season we get something different. The exploding whale,
That's right. Yeah.
the exploding little man inside the guy's penis. Oh, here it still gives me heebie-jeebies. You
I mean,
know.
here we got a couple of genitalia situations.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Done
A la
done in two complete different ways.
a la snake cock.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's affinity for penises in the show.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with
yeah,
that. But it's done very well. It's not funny. Like I said, it's
yes,
the violence is over the top. If you like over the top violence, this is the shows for you to be watching if you
yes.
haven't already. But yeah, very good, man. Very good. We got renewed. We talked about last week. We did get renewed, obviously. So that's
Yeah, we
good.
knew it was
Yeah,
going to renew it,
yeah,
and obviously this was leading directly, and they've said it that this was kind of filler in between the time between season 3 and 4, but it directly ties into season 4, what's going to happen in season 4,
right.
right? The surprise cameo at the end was very surprising because I mean I can't say, but the character in question was talked about
Yeah.
that he was having legal troubles, and so I was all of a sudden to see him come in and be a hero. We're like,
Well,
okay, and then it kind of made it fit in because what turned out was like, okay, so he was
oh,
really
right,
trying
right,
to
right.
they were trying to paint him, market him as
Mhm.
the savior because they did paint the Guardians of Godalkin as the ones causing the ruckus. So there we go. But I mean, still good. And then the other additional cameo at the end. Yeah, how can you have a voice without him, dude? I mean, come
No,
on,
of
dude.
course.
He
Come
is the
on now.
voice.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously. I knew that was going to come, so which is great to see. Don't get me wrong. But it
We,
ended very
we, we
well.
knew
Yeah.
he was in the other line of the phone. I mean,
Oh yeah,
let's be
of
honest
course.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because we
Okay.
knew. Yeah, we had a hint of it. We knew he was showing up,
Mhm.
and you cannot have it without him in it.
Yes.
But yeah, it was, like I said, it's very good, man. I liked it. It had its kind of
Mhm.
X-Men vibe as that episode, right? It's kind of
Mhm.
divide between the heroes and how they should approach humanity, I guess, right?
Mhm.
Which I really liked, so that was really cool. So yeah, excellent, well done for sure. You definitely go watch it. Big recommend. This start with the stuff that released this week. A couple of documentaries. The first one, Mysteries of Faith. This was
Mhm.
on Netflix. 4-part series. Kind of talking about some of the ancient Christian relics, like the horn, the crown, the thorn crown that Jesus
The
wore.
crown of thorns.
Yeah,
Yes.
obviously the Holy Grail, for example, things like that, and kind of going over, the history of it and people, trying to obtain and where they are currently, and obviously, we believe in that stuff or not. That's also comes into play. Chu, your thoughts on this one?
Mixed feelings. I liked when they got into the history and where they tried to explain, they went into the mythology, that what pseudo history, maybe some actual history on some of these relics and whether they are what they say they are, right? And that's what's more interesting to me, right? The history behind it. I think so. I mean, obviously, there's some documented history, whether it is what it is that they claim it is, that there's room for interpretation and for argument there. Like with I think it was the second one where they had the pieces of the cross,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the plaque that supposedly was dug up, I think about 300 AD by one of the Roman. I think she was married to one of the Roman emperors at the time, out of Constantinople, and she went on a pilgrimage. And that was very interesting. So that to me, whether that probably had the most. Well, I would say it was probably one of the better ones because it kind of maybe explained that maybe this could be that which they say it is,
Right.
right? But when they start getting into talking to the people and their faith, that's when it kind of loses me because it's just not my cup of tea,
Right.
right? I don't fault them for whatever they want to believe in, right? Good, bad, or ugly. And there's some ugly out there. God, we still have guys who still believe in Norse gods for Christ's sakes. Okay, so Loki,
So,
come on down. but but I mean, you got to. Is this a story about the relics and whether they're true or not, or is this a story about the people's belief in that they are real? I think it's more on the latter than the former. And so be it. But it's still interesting enough that it can be one to watch. And it's 24 episodes. Like I said, I could overlook that and still try to enjoy the history aspect of it.
yeah, I wasn't high on this one. To be honest with you, I mean, you have to be like a diehard. I mean, this is if you believe in Christianity or diehard religious, whatever, this may be for you, right? Going into some of the history of some of the stuff that you read about in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible and what's taught in Sunday school, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen
I
in
mean, I
movies,
mean, hell, we've seen the Grail. I mean, like I said, they even
right?
brought it up in the Grail episode with
Indiana Jones,
the
or
Last Crusade,
yeah,
right? I
exactly,
mean,
yeah,
so
which is
which
cool,
is
right?
which is yeah, yeah, that was kind of cool,
Yeah,
right? Because we've seen that movie, we know what it's about, right?
right.
You chosen wisely,
Yeah,
but that actually
and the way that
makes
they
the
talk about how they portrayed the cup in Last Crusade was very simple. It was the son of a carpenter, and the
Mhm.
antithesis of it was really a nice cup, so it wasn't like, which you okay, I guess it makes sense, whatever, right? But still, it was interesting that they brought that up, and like I said, it was okay, and it's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm not. You have to really be into the subject matter to really enjoy it, to get the most out of it,
yeah,
right? For the
probably, yeah.
most part. So I'm not sure this is one I really recommend unless that's the case. This next one, I don't think you saw. I know you didn't want to see it. I wanted to see it. And I'm glad I saw it. That's Sly, the Hollywood icon. Mr. Stallone, of course. What, about an hour and
The
20
Tulsa King.
minute, the Tulsa King, of course, Rocky. But I mean, say what you would, like him, don't like him. He is responsible for one of the most iconic characters in Hollywood, right? Rocky is, it is what it is.
Rocky,
Oscar winning.
Rocky.
It's been around for a long time. For like five, six
Adrian.
movies, and then we got Creed based off it. But yeah, it kind of go just go over his life and how he became who he became and how he did it, and the perseverance that he had. Again, nobody wanted to hire him because he was seen as a thug, which obviously that's the way it looks. Um, but he ended up writing Rocky and getting into that and putting himself in the film. That was the condition of it, and look what happened after that. It became, he was a huge action star in the '80s and '90s. But just talk a lot
Mhm.
about his family, some of the struggles that he went as a result. With good, there's bad, and fame that there's drawbacks. Um, Even his son dying, which I didn't realize that before back in 2012, I believe. One of his kids, I didn't know that. But it's very good. It's very well done. It's in good heart there. And I love Stallone. If you're a Stallone fan, there's no reason why you shouldn't be watching this, to be honest with you. But it's good. An hour and 20 minutes, really good. Talk about not all his films, not all about the films, about him and his father and his relationship. Really well done. Really well done. I'm a Sly guy. I grew up with Sly. It is what it is. Him and Arnold were going toe to toe back in that time. And even Arnold does talk about the same thing. They're trying to outdo each other, which is kind of cool seeing him in
Mhm.
there. We got Henry Winkler, the Fonz in there, who was one of his early friends in Hollywood, and helped him helped him out when he first got there. Very cool, very well done. I absolutely recommend if you're a Sly fan. This is a must watch, no doubt about it. Very good, really enjoyed it. Um, this next show, I saw it this morning because there is a time change last night,
Yes,
so
it
I got
was.
up early and earlier than usual because I'm on a time clock. It is what it is. So I have some extra time. So I'm like, you know what? Let me put it on. At least those two episodes dropped. I saw one. That's Lawmen, Bass Reeves
Mm.
on Paramount. This one is actually a true story, which I was not aware of. The
Yes.
first of a slave who became the first black U.S. Marshal.
Yes.
Interesting
And
fact.
actually, we've seen this. And we've seen him referenced in the series, Watchmen, right,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
reference Advanced Reeves, and yes, I was once I went back and be like, no, he was a real person. It wasn't just something for the movie. Again, so the show kind of giving us a little bit of history, right, in a fictionalized way. But yes,
Of course,
he
yeah,
was a real
obviously,
person.
yeah.
Yes,
So I mean, I'm not sure they're taking some liberties here, I would assume.
of
But they
course,
dropped two
of
episodes. I
course.
saw one, so I'm gonna talk about it real quick. We'll probably get more in depth next week once you see the two, because it's hard to judge a show of one episode for the most part. Right? And this is really, really bad.
Mm.
The show's not bad, right? Is it good? I don't know yet, to be honest with you. The first episode focused on, I think it's David Oyelowo, if I'm saying it right, who plays the main character, of course, Bass, who's really good in this. We got Dennis Quaid in this, Donald Sutherland, in
Mm.
this at some point. I don't know where because I haven't seen him yet, to give you an idea what the first episode didn't give us. But I saw a little promo for the second episode. Dennis Quaid does show up, so fair enough.
Okay.
But yeah, he focuses more because as far as him, he was a slave. His master was a major in the Confederate Army. This is the time during the Civil War, and something occurs. He ends up freeing himself, the shackles, quote unquote. Ends up middle of nowhere and tries to live a life, and I would assume eventually ends up being U.S. Marshal. They haven't gotten to that point yet. That being said, it's the pacing's very off in this. It
Okay.
starts off really good. The middle is like when he's escaping, and it's like okay, he's him walking. It's like, can we get somewhere quick here? Then finally get somewhere in the end, kind of. But again, one episode, it's odd because we're not the story is not there yet, right? Laying some groundwork. So I'm hoping it
Okay.
gets better second episode. Not bad. I mean, I did like it. I did like him. I need
I,
more.
I, is this a Ty Sheridan production?
He produced it. He didn't write it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this
Well, I mean, he's still involved, so okay.
he's involved in some capacity, right? So it's really well made, no doubt about it. That's it's definitely it's violent enough. Violence is not super graphic. It's not Gen V, of course, but like I said, it's well done. I just
Nothing is Gen V, dude. Let's
right,
be serious.
fair enough. But I want to get to the meat of the story, and I'm not there yet, so it's hard for me to judge it, right? Based on
Okay.
this
Well, I mean,
episode,
that's why I think they dropped two episodes, right? Because I think it was a
correct,
fair
yeah.
amount of setup.
And I think this probably would have been better off is more some bunch of flashbacks and stuff like that, as opposed to just giving us the whole this groundwork. Because
I mean, I think because he's an historical figure, a
well,
person,
but you could have shown
maybe,
these scenes,
maybe
maybe
they wanted to
right,
spend some time to
which is fine,
really,
which is fine.
really, really kind of paint who he is, rather than just do some exposition, some flashbacks,
I mean,
uh,
but they could have
and
done,
not
yeah.
give him his due, right?
Then you could have done given his due to the exact same scenes just in flashbacks, so you still
Mm.
would have gotten the same effect. I thought. But that being said, I enjoyed it. It's good enough to. I'm gonna see the second episode, and I'll give you further opinion. We both will next week. But if you're into you like Tyler Sheridan stuff, you got Paramount. Check it out. Like I said, it's not a bad show. If it was bad, believe me, I say don't waste your time. So I kind of enjoyed it. This next one is All the Light We Cannot See. This was on your screen keeps popping off of me, so my apologies, technical difficulties.
Netflix limited series,
Yeah, limited
four-parter.
series, four episodes. We have here, I think the big draw is Mark Ruffalo,
Mm-hmm.
but this was based off
Hulk smash.
a Pulitzer Prize winning novel apparently, so it's a big deal. Premise: we have the tail end of the World War II because Nazis and all that good stuff, and with this young girl who is blind, who is using a radio to
Well,
communicate.
I wouldn't say tail end of World War II because France is still
Well,
occupied. So
fair enough. It's towards the end.
I would say towards this is more towards
It's heading.
before before Normandy.
That's
Let's put
fine.
it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's more towards the beginning than the end. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But yeah, she's blind. She using a radio, shortwave radio, to communicate and help the resistance, encoding via stories of Jules Verne, whatever, for example. And obviously she's wanted because that is illegal. Nazis want to find her. And there's a young boy on the other side who is an expert genius as far as radio communications, whatever. And he's trying to find her as well. And they kind of share a connection with something as young kids in relation to radios, and this some guy named Professor and all that. Was very inspirational, etc., etc. Chew, your thoughts on this one?
Um, I like it. I mean, it's short. I mean, it's only 4 episodes, right? And it's told combination both in present and past. Not so much flashbacks, but kind of concurrently telling the story in these two different timelines, right? So because when we find the girl, she's alone. She's on the radio.
Right.
We kind of see her blind, but then we get flashback. We go back to where before she got there with the Mark Ruffalo father character, and what led to her being that, and so kind of telling that story simultaneously. I'm enjoying it, right? It's a good World War II story. It's unique, nothing we've seen before, as far as the subject matter and this fashion, and the French resistance at that time. So yeah, I mean, I recommend it. It's short enough. If it was longer, I may have some issues, but being it's only 4 episodes, I think it really gets right to the point, and to the story, and it goes from there.
I'm the opposite. I wish it was longer. This was a little bit undercooked, right? Undercooked meals, a little bit raw. To be honest with you, it's fine.
Medium rare.
Yeah, it's like rare, like little medium rare. I don't want that much. I don't want blood on the meat per se. It was Captain Fix Your Screen here, Jesus. It's okay. I mean, it's a Pulitzer Prize winning novel, so I'm sure it's great. Obviously, I just didn't get it off this series. I think there should have been at least 6 episodes. I mean, I ended up finishing it because I was halfway through. I'm like, whatever, I'll finish it
Yeah, I
up.
was surprised. I saw
Yeah.
4 episodes. I was like, oh crap, that's it. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Okay.
It needs six at least to really get into the characters. Because at the end of the day, you really don't know why. And I don't want to spoil the end, but how they got to that point, it's like, okay, well, there was no connection between them, and it just forced that connection in the end. It needed more on both sides. It really,
Okay, maybe. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Like,
Yes.
I like that. That's fine. It ends that way, but they didn't give us enough to really get vested in that result, as far as I'm concerned. And even with the kid himself, and because they focus more on the girl, which they should. First time actress
Mm.
too, she did a pretty good job. I gotta give credit's due. Um, but him, they undercooked him as well. They could have
No,
good.
him, yeah, because we get his story, but obviously
Not
we
enough.
need to we have to accept that he's been listening to her for however long he's been in France, and has obviously that's where the connection has come in, where he has this
Right.
connection with her, which is kind of it's assumed or just put out there, but not really explained for how long or
That's
why,
and
what's
exactly, and that's what I'm
yes.
saying, right? So the payoff it
And
didn't quite
they
hit.
try to do that with his background because he was just literally grabbed by the knot. He had this skill. He was grabbed and indoctrinated and
Mhm.
forced to do all these things. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there is no short
Right,
on
that's
his
what I'm
end.
saying. Like 2 episodes, I thought would have done it more justice.
Mm,
That said, it's filler. I mean, like I said, whatever. Like I said, it's a light week, not a whole lot to go on. It's 4 episodes. Give it a shot, see if you guys enjoy it. I'm not. I won't go as far as to say I'm not recommending it, but I'm also not recommending it as well. So, I'm just really in the middle, to be honest with you. And of course, listen, the last one here. This is a recommendation before you even saw the show, and that's Invincible on
well, hell
Amazon Prime.
yeah.
Finally dropping its second season. It's been a couple of years, of course. This one here, Robert Kirkman, of course, did like things like Walking Dead, for example. Brought the first season, which I think took most people by surprise at how good it was, how graphic it is, how adult it is, despite being animation. Dealing with superheroes, very much like a Watchmen and Even the boys kind of deconstruction of the superhero genre, so to speak. Excellent first season. I really liked it a lot. It's great. So I was excited about this. It only dropped one episode. It was kind of disappointing. I was like, man, all he gets one. Particularly because the first episode is really good. I like the direction they went. They're doing what everyone else is doing kind of multiverse stuff. Fine, that's the flavor of the month or the week when it comes to the genre, but whatever. But then in a really cool way, they bought the twins. I love the twins. I forget their names in there, but two great characters. And even in the beginning, I'm like, whoa, wait, what happened here? Why we? I was confused. I was like, well, how the last episode left us off, and when this one started, I'm like, wait, what? Okay, and then, okay, I get it now. So that was pretty cool. I like that. Take a different approach. It's got the emotional stakes, particularly with the kid Invincible, because his father was not who he thought he was, and obviously was almost not spoiler, but he beat him up almost to death. His father did, and now he's dealing with that and the angst of that and the aftermath. Very good, man. This is a show. This is one all this season 2. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, to go back and watch it if you're into the genre. I know it's animated. People look at animated things a little bit differently, and I get it. But this is an absolute must-watch. Chewy.
100%. This is more fun. This is such a great show. Uh, even in anime, like I said, the animation is not spectacular.
No.
It's fairly straightforward, but it's the storytelling that's driving this. And just because it's anime doesn't mean it's bad or anything. It's just a different medium. But it's like I said, I've never read the comics, but this is one of what makes you go back and look at the comics of this because it's so good and it's so interesting, and they're bringing in so many new characters in different directions and dealing with who he is or what he is and where he's coming from and where he's going, what he's got to do right at some point. But I'm loving it, man. This is great must-watch TV from Amazon.
Yeah, it's got a great cast.
Oh man,
Stephen Young from Walking Dead.
Sandra Oh,
Sandra
Walter
Oh,
Goggins.
Walter
Yeah,
Goggins.
you mentioned. There's just.
J.K. Simmons
J.K.
plays the
Yes,
father.
J.K. Simmons. There's just so many,
Seth,
so many
Seth Rogen's in this
actors.
as well.
Well, of course, man.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen
he produced it.
is boy's producer,
Yeah.
and obviously he's involved with this. He loves this stuff.
No, it's got a huge cast, a great voice talent. It's so good. It's really good. I really wish I was hoping to get 2 or 3. I was like, only one. Damn it. I was like, oh well. So
well, problem like they're breaking it up into 2 parts: 5 episodes the next 4 weeks, and then 5 episodes sometime first quarter next year.
I guess that makes sense because they're all going to be behind a lot of shows given what's going on. So fair enough.
Still on strike.
It is what it is. So, but listen, it's great, excellent. Yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. An absolute must watch as far as I'm concerned. So definitely the highlight of the week for sure. Next week, Chewy, not a big week at all. Not a lot of stuff coming out. Obviously, today they drop, Lawmen, Reeves, 2 episodes. I'll definitely go back and watch the second one. I'm sure Chewy, you will as well. We'll talk about that next week. On Disney, or really Hulu. Disney overseas.
Yeah, it was actually Hulu, but
it's the overseas Disney is there is no Hulu overseas. It's just really Disney. Yeah. It's all encompassing. So if you live overseas, and
as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing.
Right, but here it's going to be specific on Hulu. But either way, tomatoes. Culprits is dropping its season. This seems like a thief who I guess turned it around, and now he is some.
Well, it's actually a heist.
A heist.
How I feel about a good heist.
Oh no, it's like a heist that in the past is coming back to bite him in the ass.
So
now,
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I'm in. So it looks interesting.
I'm in.
So yeah, okay, why not? That's on the 18th, same day as the Santa Clauses 2, which I won't.
Season 2.
Season 2. Season 2. I won't be watching. I didn't see the first one. And so whatever. Chewy, I'm sure you're just watching it. Are you watching season 1?
You are heartless, dude. Listen, you have no heart. You're a tin man.
I love tin. Love me some Tool time. But
and the Tool Antenna.
A little Toy Story.
It's good. Family. Yeah, exactly.
No,
it's good family fun, dude.
No,
and
I get it. I just never saw the first season. When you sound like this season 2.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I understand. But if you're a fan of Tim Allen. Yeah. And if you ever saw like at least the first Santa Claus, which is a great family movie, actually.
Yeah, no, it is.
A good Christmas movie, right? This kind of is just kind of continuing the story with some of the same characters, taking a leap forward, and now it's season 2. Season 1 was fairly successful, right? Disney does put out some good things from time to time, and this is one of them, right?
Fair enough. On the 10th, you can there's not a it's not a week without Netflix jumping in there, and we have a movie called The Killer. David Fincher directing it. He's a great director. Actually, I do have my review on this. I put it up a few weeks ago. I got a chance to see it in the theater with Michael Fassbender playing the main character. It's
Mm.
about an assassin and all that. It's really well done. Really, it's really good. It's definitely worth watching. And we'll talk more about it next week. And then same day we got season 4, right? For All Mankind on Apple Plus. One of the great
Yes.
show, one of the must-watch shows in Apple Plus. And I
Hmm.
know it's 4 seasons in. It's hard for you guys to go back and
What
watch it,
what
but
the show that actually it convinced me to get Apple Plus to
fair.
begin with because I've heard so many good things about it, and it is a, I mean, this is up there with the foundations of the Apple Plus and the Ted Lasso. This is
Lasso,
great
Severance. No,
drama.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yes,
pound for pound,
yes.
I think. And I was thinking about this the other day. If you take the top 10 shows of all the streamers, Apple may be ahead of everybody.
Uh,
In terms of 1 through 10, I'm not saying the best show is on Apple. I'm saying let's assume like the best shows on Netflix, HBO, and then numbers 5 through 6 will be from Apple. I can make the argument. I gotta go back and think
that
about
might be
it.
a good exercise. We have to go back
Yeah,
and look at because obviously off Netflix, off the top of my head, I'm thinking Stranger Things, right?
right.
I'm thinking I have to put Dark.
You gotta put
For
some,
me,
yeah, you
Dark
gotta
was
put some
one of
thought
them.
into it.
Yeah,
Wrong. It's one of the things I
yeah.
was just thinking about. I was like, man, because with Severance and For All
But then
Mankind,
you
Ted
look at
Lasso,
HBO when you have well, yeah,
yeah, Game
yeah,
of
but I
Thrones,
mean you got to put Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon.
yeah, look,
I mean
Last of
that.
Us, of course, for me.
Yeah, oh hell yeah, The
So,
Last of
so
Us. I
but
mean,
like the
The
top.
Wire.
No, no.
I
Well,
mean,
I'm talking about and just recent. I'm just talking maybe
Okay, so let's say last five
yeah, let's
years.
say last
Okay,
5 years.
okay, that
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
mean, not
Okay,
overall,
all
because
right,
yeah, Apple
yeah,
hasn't been around that long, so HBO probably will be number one because it's
okay,
been on the
okay.
longest, right? Sopranos, The Wire, like you said.
Mm.
But the last 5 years, whatever, I don't know how long Apple Plus has been around. But I would
Uh,
say if you take 10
4 years,
shows
yeah.
of all of them, they may have the best grouping of them all. Not the best,
Maybe,
right? Maybe. There's an
maybe,
argument there.
maybe. Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess you can't
But
dismiss them.
this one is up there
No,
because
this is up there. This is a great show.
this is
Absolutely.
one of these alternative history shows, right? Where they explore, you know, basically the basic premise is what if the space race never ended?
Right.
That's the theme, and so it starts with as accurate as possible the dawn of the space age, right? Us against the Russians,
Russians, of course, yeah.
right? And then they start slowly deviating with continuing the missions, continuing to the moon, continuing to Mars, so and obviously changing history along the way to facilitate that with the
Mm.
first woman president, the changes in the economy, changes in the history, right, where we weren't dependent on oil and more
Right.
on green energy. Things that would perpetuate that exploration and going in further and further into
Things that will
space,
make
right? So now
yeah,
this,
things that will
yes,
make Elon Musk very happy.
to say the least, with no Twitter or X or whatever.
Fine.
But
Take that
but
away,
now this is yeah, season four takes us to I guess
Yeah,
more contemporary, more our time. This is now in the
yeah,
2000s,
yeah.
right? And that's also a unique thing about thing because this show does every season. It's a 10 year, roughly 10 year jump or decade jump, 60s, 70s, 80s. Oh, I'm sorry, 60s, 70s,
Right,
80s,
and then
90s,
right,
and
2000,
now
whatever.
into 2000s, right?
Is this a show
And
you
so
think you can watch
yeah,
without having seen the other ones? Out of curiosity, because of the time jumps.
I don't think
I
so.
don't
I
know, man.
mean,
I don't think so. I
because
don't know.
it's well, no, because there's just too much legacy characters that have
There
gone
are.
from
I
season
mean,
to
there's been
season.
changes, but
Yeah,
yeah, because I would like to have great people join and see the show. If you can't see 4 seasons, I get
I
it.
mean, this
It's a
is
lot.
worth going back. This is
No,
worth going back
agreed,
and
agreed,
say,
no doubt.
hey, go back,
No,
just start from the
absolutely,
beginning,
absolutely.
and then watch this one once it ends. Because again,
Yeah.
it's not like you have to watch 100 episodes, right? It's not
No,
80
no. It's
episodes of
like
Game of Thrones.
yeah, and of
I
course, of
mean,
course.
it's now with it's 30 episodes plus now this one, which
Yeah,
hasn't even started yet. So it's manageable, it's
yeah.
doable,
This is one where I think the
right?
next couple of months are going to be light.
Hmm.
This is one of
You
the
can go back and
yeah. This is
watch.
one you can before I know well three we had 3 seasons. The fourth just started, so it doesn't really count. But
Yeah.
by the time you finish, your fourth will be out there. But I would definitely say give it a shot. Definitely
Yeah.
give it a shot. If you have Apple Plus and all that, it's very good. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't have a Plus. Everybody's raising their prices, so people might be dropping from some of these streamers. I don't know. Everyone's jacking stuff up. The damn stupid strike, dude. Fucking Hollywood killing me, dude. Here Netflix raise, HBO's not maybe raising, but they're taking stuff away from what you're paying.
Mm.
Daisy's gone up 2 times in the last year. I think Apple's also going up as well, if I'm not mistaken, Chewy. Um,
But no, Apple is not.
I thought they were.
I pay
No, they
I
are.
pay
No,
like $7.
I did read
Are they?
something. They are raising the prices soon. Yeah, they read something
Oh,
on that.
of
So
course.
everyone's
All right.
going up. They're all going up. So I get it. And now it's like cable. Now you got to start cutting whatever. But
Well, I'm this close to cutting my cable, so.
Well, I don't have cable. I've lost cable a while back, so
Yeah.
but whatever. There's no need for I'd rather pay extra for the streamers than the cable, obviously. But that being
Mm.
said, listen, the great show for All Mankind. You guys should definitely go back and check it out. Either way, we'll talk more in detail about For All Mankind. These are other shows releasing this week. Of course, always subscribe, like, share. We appreciate it. We're here every Sunday. There's nothing on. We don't want to hear that statement, that phrase, that there's no such thing. There's always something to watch. That being said, we'll let you know what that is. See you guys next week.
Hey,